People are gonna keep doing this to me.
Oh man, real life. I think you need to get like one of those lights, like when you're recording, like a red one, just flick.
I know. Like a stay the heck out.
Yeah, because that happens way too often.
All right, so
Um,
I can't see people's questions, so
you
why don't
cannot. That's weird. Okay. So Steven just says he's got a pretty fierce storm coming in over Ireland. He's glad to be home. We're glad to have you as well. All right, guys. So like, we don't have the biggest group in the world here, but it's no big deal. Maybe more people will tick in again, and we realize it's the middle of the day. So do you want to kick it off? Do a quick intro, and then we'll just talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, what I'd love to do though is find out. So I see Steven's here. If any of you guys have any questions, then just let me know. It's upstairs on the stand where everything is. Your makeup area. This venture card. Unbelievable.
Wow, the real life stuff.
I'm like literally in a storm.
Yeah.
I'm like you, Steven. Mine is in my house though. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's no escape from the storm.
All right. So, all right, look, we're going to talk to you guys a lot about our experience with Six Figure Mentors. We're going to talk to you about what we're doing in Six Figure Mentors. Personally, our journey over the last, I guess now 4.5 years at this point. And then what I'd love to do, since it's a small group, if you guys are open, we can bring you out. You can ask us questions. We can, we'll be happy to answer anything that you want. And Guy, as questions come in or comments or anything like that, just let me know, okay?
You got it.
So we'll do a really, really short intro, so you get a sense of who we are, and then we'll go from there. So I'm on the left, or black shirt in the video. Guy is Sam Elon, and that's Guy, as you can tell by our names. We actually started a company, SatoriPrime, back in June 22nd, 2011. So SatoriPrime is our brand. And that was because we thought if we named our company something like elonandguyferdman.com, no one would ever follow us. Our last name is just not really conducive or sexy by any means. So we picked this name, and we can tell you a funny story about that later. And we were born here. So for those that don't know, that's Israel. Ended up when I was almost 8, Guy was 5, ended up moving to North Jersey. Then now I live in this beautiful part of the world, which is in Rockland County, right outside of New York City. I should really update that picture because my kids are like twice that old by now, but I still like that picture. So that's my wife and 2 kids. I have a 4+-year-old and an almost 3-year-old. Guy decided to pick up after a few rough winters and move to this beautiful place. He sold us out.
It's not the only reason why, but yeah, I left and I moved to San Diego, and I'm very happy. Been here for about 3 years.
So that's pretty much his view from his house now.
Yeah, not too bad.
Consistently. Those are his kids. They're furrier. They don't talk as much.
Less human-ish.
And they're less humanish. They're furry.
But they're older than Elon's kids, so I have a lot more experience being a father.
That's actually our family. This was on a trip we just had recently in county. So it's our parents and my wife and Guy's girlfriend. So as you can tell, we like to have a pretty good time. Then this is a boys camping trip we do every year with our friends. So I guess the message here is that we're a little bit alcoholic. Is that what we're going with here?
I don't know. You really need to swap out some pictures.
Okay, some of
look like we're not drinking in every situation.
All right, and then here's what we've been able to do in using this education, and that's what we're going to talk about. We've actually been able to work with some incredible people, and we should add a few more to this as well. Real thought leaders in different arenas, and as you can tell, all sorts of arenas. We have people in productivity, people in fitness, venture capital groups, tennis, finance, etc. So we've also created a ton of different products to try to share our wisdom with a bunch of people. Things like how to dominate in Facebook, how to build lists properly, email marketing, mindset stuff, you name it, we've created it. We have a huge fan base at this point, people that, I would say are fanatics. of SatoriPrime, which is really why we do this. It's just to shift people's lives and make them aware of options and choices that prior to they never thought were possible. And it's something that we're really, really passionate about. And then this is pretty much what we've done this for is with the online marketing model, you have the ability to build a stage. You have the ability to build a fan base. And Guy and I have been lucky enough to travel multiple cities throughout the world and share some of this wisdom that we'll be sharing here with you today about what it takes, and both from a mindset and a technical landscape. And then it's just been an incredible, incredible opportunity. All right, so let me shut that down and we'll go big video on you.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so if any one of you, I know you guys showed up here for a reason, so we want to make this more about you. I just wanted to do a quick little thing. But while I'm saying my next piece, if there's anybody here, you showed up, you have a specific question, you want to know something, you clearly grabbed the video bootcamp for a reason. My assertion is that you have some sort of goal, some sort of vision, something that you guys are trying to create here in the next 3, 6, 12 months. I know where everyone's going into 2016, and so we're all like, what are the goals? What are the goals? So I'm assuming that you probably got these videos with the mindset of that could bridge the gap, or that can make this journey easier, or whatever that is. So I'd love to hear from you guys why you're here and what you came here to do. And here's what you really want to get about us. We started this business, like I said, it was June 22nd, 2011. And we started with a company that now is merged with, that's not merged into Six Figure Mentors. That doesn't really matter. But what matters is that 3 years ago, we were made, so after we were doing this for about a year and a half, we were made the master marketing trainers for the entire Six Figure Mentor community. So we train thousands of people, just like yourself, all around the world for the past 3 years on building businesses that they're passionate about, building businesses that inspire them and others, building businesses that make a difference. Oh, and by the way, building businesses that actually put some money in your pocket, which is, always nice. So any questions that you guys have, we've done this a few times with multiple thousands of people. So we kind of know what works and what doesn't work. We'll know if this is the right fit for you or not. We can look, and one thing you're going to find out about us very, very easily is that we don't have a sugarcoating mechanism in our ability. So we're going to tell you pretty much exactly how it is. So if we're like talking to you and we just see that this is not a fit, we will be the first to tell you that you should not do it. Right? Yeah. It's not one size fits all. Right? We're looking for very specific people to come into this community. So yeah.
I'd like to know if any of you guys are entrepreneurs already. You've either had a business, you have a current business, and that could be really anything from network marketing to you've done sales before, or if this is like your first time that you're looking at something. So Steven says he's definitely had a business before. That's great. And I'm just asking because, the entrepreneurial spirit, I think for me, it's definitely more of a mindset, right? It's a specific kind of person that wants to attain those goals. And a lot of people just don't even have that context for themselves quite yet, that they could be entrepreneurial. They've been in the workspace for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they've spent a lot of time being told what to do, what their value is. And that's a really kind of a contrasting view to an entrepreneur, because as a worker, somebody's telling you what your value is. You're worth $50,000 a year, and you're working for that money, and you're really helping somebody else build their dream. And as an entrepreneur, it's the exact opposite. You're building your dream, and you're the one that's creating how much value you're worth. And that's why education is so important. But, most of us have spent time in the educational system, again, trying to prove something, trying to become something, trying to become the best worker. In this space, what we find is when people take on an entrepreneurial journey, they become part of an entrepreneurial community. It's a long word to say over and over again. Something happens to them. And that's my favorite part about the business. The money is great. The travel is fun. It's the person that you get to become, the experience that you get to have of yourself, the transformation that happens in your life that we see for our students every single day, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're taking a journey of breaking down walls, right? So for a lot of you guys, there's fear, probably fear around money, fear around your time, fear around your health, all these different things that honestly your workspace is probably impacting right now. Okay. So I'm not telling you that you can overcome them overnight, right? And I think that's the biggest lie of the industry. That's the same lie in network marketing. You see it a lot online. It's just this thing that you can become an overnight success. And I'm not saying that we don't have people that create incredible results quickly, because there are definitely people who do that. And that's not the results typical. If you're going to come and take this journey, what I want you to understand is that this is a process, like any process. And you're basically signing up for to master something new, right? So if you wanted to master the piano, or you wanted to master your health, you're not going to go to the gym 3 times and suddenly have a 6-pack. That would be no. And think about it. We have a whole industry that makes billions of dollars every year that claims that you can, and people do it anyway, and then fall into that trap and get really disappointed and then give up on their health, because the commitment was never about mastery. It was about a quick fix. And we really are not looking for people who are looking for quick fixes. We're looking for people who are looking to drastically transform their lives, empower themselves, have fun, make a difference, and make a lot of money in the process. And if that sounds like what you're up for, then I promise you what we have here is going to support you incredibly in that journey. Now, some of you guys might have questions like, okay, well, how fast can I make money? Another question you might have is, I don't know, like how much is going to cost me, and all those other things. And honestly, it's impossible for us to answer those questions for you, because every person brings something different to the table. We don't know your work ethic. We don't know how much experience you have. We don't know how much money you have towards putting a business, right? It's unrealistic. Like what network marketing pitches all the time is, give us $30, we'll show you how to make $1 million. And then the reality sets in, because finding 12 people is not easy. Them finding 12 people is not easy. And the people you end up finding have no experience in business anyway, so you're not making any money. And I'm not putting down network marketing, because we know people who do great in the industry, but we chose to be part of a direct sales industry because we wanted to know that the work that we put in is what we get out of our business, right? And that's what happens here. Sure, you can build a team, it's wonderful, and you get residual income from it, but our income is not based on the team's performance, okay? But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Elon and I have been in personal development coaching for close to 13 years. And that's really where our passion lies. We love doing personal mastery work with people. This is a vehicle for us to find people who want personal mastery. And we believe that you should be living life at a 10 in every single area of your life, with your health, with your finances, with your relationships. It's not just one part of life should be great and everything else is an absolute shit show. So again, where we find that is when people challenge themselves to grow, and you're going to do that as an entrepreneur. Like, it's inevitable, because what you're going to get really clear on really fast is that the growth of your business is 100% correlated to your own growth. And suddenly you start becoming a student again. And a lot of you guys have forgotten what it's like to be a student. It can be very exciting for people. It can be a very freeing experience because you rediscover who you are. Most of you guys think you know who you are, but it's just been in one context. And maybe you've worked at the same job for 20 years. Maybe you didn't get to finish college or something like that, and that has capped you in terms of what you can do in the traditional workspace. So again, like, none of that stuff has to be true anymore. And that really is what's beautiful about the online model. Guys, like, companies like Uber, there's a new company right now in the States called Purple. They will literally deliver gasoline to your house, right? We're moving into an environment where people can literally self-hire themselves, have their own businesses, have time freedom. This is not fantasy anymore at all. But it really, the access to it, the access to you guys living a life of freedom, which is, I think, why everybody does this personally. Maybe you might call it different things, but we're all looking for freedom. Money freedom, time freedom, love freedom. People come here for that. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But my point is that if you retool yourself, if you just master a few new things, it's going to give you access to possibilities that right now are just simply not possible. So yeah, you might have come here under the guise of, I want to make more money, but I'm inviting you to look at this as this is an educational opportunity that's going to give you certain experiences in life that are going to unlock your potential to make money. Now, the beautiful part here is what Six Figure Mentors does, and why we love this community and why we love the system, is all the things that you'd have to go learn independently and build on your own. Things like a sales funnel, which is what you guys are all part of right now, whether you're conscious of it or not. You're not going to have to go and implement those things, because some of those things could take hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to learn and implement. That stuff is already done here for you. Your only job when you join this community is to learn how to drive traffic. And by traffic, I mean learn how to set up ads online that create attraction marketing that will attract people into your sales funnel. And that's it. Quality traffic. That's the only thing you got to do. Now, if you go online, people make traffic seem like it's the most mysterious thing in the world. The honest truth is it's not. You go set up an ad on Facebook, you're going to have traffic. What you have to master is how to have a communication with somebody that attracts the right kind of people towards your business. That's a big difference. And the moment you master that, you can pretty much make unlimited money with this company, right? And that's really the opportunity that you have in front of you. Now, because this is and Brooke, stop me anytime if you think I'm talking too much. Do you want to say something?
I can always say something.
Okay, well, one last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you go ahead. What's beautiful about Six Figure Mentors that's different than everything else we do online is this is a top-tier model, right? There's a product line here that goes into the tens of thousands of dollars. Now, that might not be appropriate for all of you guys. Some of you guys might just want the education. Some of you guys might want to travel the world with us like we do. Some of you guys might just want to learn about branding. There's all different things. We really offer kind of like a solution for everybody depending on where they are and where their abilities are right now, okay? However, because of that, you have a lot of room to be a really bad marketer, because a lot of systems, if you go and find like a product online, like an affiliate product that pays you, I don't know, $47 per sale, and your goal is to make $10,000 a month, you guys do the math on how many products you need to sell to make that money minus your expenses. You're going to have to sell thousands of units every month to do that, right? Takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of capital to do something like that. For most people, that's completely out of reach, and that's going to probably take you years. Or you can become part of a system where you do the same exact work, like selling thousands of those products, but instead of selling thousands, you can sell 10 a month and still pull in $20, $30, $40,000 a month. Again, because there's a top tier model here, and the payout you're going to get per sale, per customer, is significantly bigger. And again, that's one of the major advantages we have here over, say, like a network marketing company where, again, you have to get a lot of production for a little bit of money. So that's a really, really big distinction to understand.
All right. So first of all, I want to offer you guys a gift. So in order to get this gift, we're going to need some interaction here. I promise that the gift is going to be incredible value, complete and utter mind expansion. And I will give it to the first person who responds to this. So my question is, why are you here? And giggle doesn't count, Steven. Why are you here? Why did you show up to this hangout today? All right. So Steven's saying because I'm looking for a vehicle for freedom. Okay.
Great answer.
So Steven, I'm going to assert that probably everybody else here too. By the way, guys, do you understand? Like, there's a chat thing on the bottom that you guys can type in, and your answers will be there. All right. So Marie, is that Angela? Or is that coincidence?
No.
Okay, cool. One of our students is Angela Marie, so that's really great. Okay, and to learn about marketing, how to develop. Anybody else? So I only got 2 people in here. I'll give this. I'll put it this way. I will give it to everyone who answers. How's that?
How about them apples?
Yeah, I'll give it to anyone who drops in an answer. Giggle is not considered an answer, but Steven stepped up afterwards. Because I need an easy, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. I'm really sorry. But we'll call you Izzy, because I need an easier way to get money and still have my time to myself. Awesome. Okay. Hey, Marie, time freedom. All right. So I know there's a few else out there. Definitely a few other people, right? David, James, Katie, Paul. User PC, don't know who you are. Craig. Mutes, right?
It's okay.
I guess they're not that concerned.
We'll call them the introverted ones.
Okay. Well, first things first you want to get is like, why are you sitting there just silent? Like, why can't you even answer that question? If you can't answer that question, then what are you really doing here?
Yep.
Like that should be the first thing you ask yourself. It's like, if I'm not comfortable enough to answer why I'm here, then what are you doing listening to us? Seriously. It's like you guys are the drivers of your own life. You are the creators of your own life. And if you think that someone's going to come and save you or do something, whatever, then it's just not going to happen, right? Craig, thanks for stepping up, buddy. So Craig jumped in saying, thinking about joining SFM again. Oh, wow. So you were in it before. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. Should I give it to everybody anyway?
No, I think you should keep it. Like you said, people who answer should get this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'm going to message the people.
Can I know what you're giving them? Because I'm just as curious.
Nope.
All right. Should I answer? Will you give it to me?
Nope. How can it's telling me that I can only send it to.
It just says viewers in the chat box there. I think.
Yeah, but then it's doing that and all panelists.
I don't know. I have everything broken up in 3, and I can send them individually. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You see, it's like that and individual.
So it is what it is. Send it out.
Okay.
You guys are the limitations of technology.
You guys are getting lucky by the limitations.
Oh no, all panelists are us anyway. You're not sending it to everybody.
Okay.
We're the panelists.
All right. So that's Craig, Steven coming your way.
Okay.
A. Marie coming your way. And Izzy coming your way. Did I miss anybody? I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So what I sent you guys is one of the best books about entrepreneurship that I've ever read. And it just so happens that it's on YouTube, the entire audiobook. Now, that might be like copyright issues, but we're not going to deal with that right now. What I want you to understand, and this is what I want you all to do. I want you to go and at least, do me a favor, at least listen to just the introduction, the first hour of the book. The book, for those that I'm still giving you a chance, guys, the mutes, if you want, the book is called Robert Greene Mastery, and I'll be happy to send it to you as well if you want. The introduction to this book sets forth the mindset and technical abilities of every entrepreneur on the planet. And I don't just mean entrepreneurs from an entrepreneur standpoint. I mean people like Mozart, people like Darwin, people like Freddie Roach, who is the winningest boxing coach, I guess would be the right word, of all time. People that were our contemporaries and people from the past. But the introduction speaks about the work ethic. Like, we look at someone like Mozart as he was just gifted, or he was just talented, or he was just born with it. And that's complete and utter BS. So what this guy did was he actually went through every biography, every interview, every writing about every single one of these people. And then the ones that were alive, he obviously interviewed, and just got their story, got their mindset, got what they absolutely went through in order to achieve the results that we from the outside look at like, oh, wow, these guys are gifted. So here's my thing with you guys. If you listen to that introduction and after the first hour, you're buzzing, like you will feel your heart just beating with excitement. Like, I want this life. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue. Then this community, this family is your home. You will feel more at home in this community than you felt anywhere in your entire life. If you listen to that and you're like, nah, not for me, then I urge you to not join this community. Like, that's how important this mindset is. Because it's like what Guy said. When you start a business, this is what I tell people. If you go into a business thinking that you're going to make money in the first 2 years, don't start that business. Now, I'm not saying you can't make money in the first 2 years, but I'm saying if you have a goal, like in the next 3 months, I'm going to make $10,000. And meanwhile, you've never made $10,000 in your life before in a month. And what you want to invest is $100 to make that, or $25. I'm going to join some MLM and make $10,000 in 3 months. I'm going to pay $25, startup fee. If that's your mindset, do not join our community, because that is seated in a la la land where Santa Claus, the unicorn, and Easter Bunny exist.
And they're all drinking tea together.
So if you still believe in that world, this is not for you. This is for people. And guys, you want to learn how you make money? Lots of it. You add value to the world. You guys all want freedom. You know where your access to freedom is? Give people freedom. You want more love? Give people love. You want more money? Give more money. It's the methodology is very simple. So now the question you should ask yourself is, if adding value to the world is what's going to make my bank account grow, what do I have to offer that can add that value? Now, some of you are going, I don't have anything. And I'm going to say bullshit to that. Because every single one of you has something that every one of your friends comes to for, every one of your family members comes to for. You spend every waking moment that's not work or with kids or whatever, actually researching, reading, doing whatever in this arena. You naturally do it. All you need is a tool and an ability to unlock that, call it unlock you, and then have tools and resources to be able to share that with the world. Once you do that, you get to build your own stage. You get to build your own audience. You get to build your own following. And guess what? When you can make a difference for those people in your life, they will pay you handsomely.
Yeah. And let me just jump in here. This is a really important distinction about the economy that we exist in now, that most people are just honestly not taking advantage of because they're lacking the skills to do so, right? When you think about it, we don't like to think of ourselves as internet marketers, right? It's not how I perceive myself. I might market and I use the internet as a tool, right? But ultimately, that's the skill that you need in order to share a message and broadcast to people your thoughts, right? Like your paradigm, your unique perspective. And if you look online today, when we all go to YouTube and find these people, where we gravitate to is people who have unique perspectives that add value to our lives. And like Elon said, how do you become more valuable? Well, you educate yourself, you get new experiences. And now, just like when you go to your friends and you share about an experience that moves them and inspires them to take action, it's the same exact thing. But you can actively put yourself into a process where you're educating and gaining new experiences very quickly. Right? And that's an active thing that you need to choose to become part of. Now, in this new economy, think about it, 5, 10 years down the road from now, automation is going to be everywhere. It's already everywhere. And in the States, people are talking about increasing the minimum wage. McDonald's doesn't want to increase the minimum wage. What are they doing? They're replacing the entire workforce with robots right now. You can walk into McDonald's and order your food by tapping on a screen, right? That's the future, guys. Robots and automation. So where do we fit into the picture in the new economy? Well, humans still have experiences. Humans still get to master things. And I promise you, all you guys here on this webinar right now have mastered something in your life. Something, like Elon said, that your friends come to you and ask for advice, whether that's riding a bike or whether you're perfect with relationships. It doesn't matter. But guys, we live in, you can see my cat back there, but there's billions of us on the planet, and there's over 3 billion people already online. Trust me, there's a few million people interested in what you're interested in, things that you've mastered already. Now, granted, you might not be the best in the world at it, and there might be millions of people who are better than you at that thing, but there's also millions of people behind you who are trying to get to where you are. If you get to share that experience, that knowledge with people, it's natural for them to gravitate towards you because you become an authority figure for them, right? You're adding value to their lives. And think about it. This is what you do every day when you go on Google, every day when you go on YouTube. You have how-to questions. You find resources that you trust. You listen to them, and it impacts your life. And we're all evolving exponentially fast because of this. So instead of being passive in that experience, you can get an education in how to become active in that experience. And that really is the new economy, because when manufacturing goes away, when service goes away, the only thing that's going to be left over is this digital idea sharing economy. And it's already happening, like the Uber thing, the thing I just told you in purple. There's services that you can hire people to go do your food shopping for you. This is what we call the share economy. And that's exactly what's happening online today. You can hire yourself now. You don't need to go look for a job anymore. Create the thing that you want to do. Create your passion and go figure out how to monetize it. But again, you need a solid foundation to build your cathedral on. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you're building. Without integrity, it's going to fall apart. This is where you can come get your integrity. But like Elon said, if your mindset is, if this doesn't work in 30 days, it must be a scam, the system must not work, blah, blah, blah. You've done that before in your life. You've blamed other things. How is that going for you, right? That's not how you want to approach this. You want to approach this in the spirit of mastery. And guess what? Mastery takes time. When you were a little baby, you didn't get up and walk on your feet the first time you did it. You might have walked, but then you fell like 5,000 times, but you kept getting up. You didn't just go, hey, I guess this walking thing is not going to work out. It's mom's fault. Right? But people do that every single day because they don't want to deal with the fact that they're giving up. So they blame things. That's not how this works. This lifestyle, making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, making millions of dollars a year, traveling when you want, never asking for time off, being your own boss, firing your current boss, living passionately, helping other people, serving. It's not just possible, guys. It's a guarantee. As long as you're willing to play this game without quitting, without giving up on yourself. These are the goals that you say that you want. And granted, we haven't had a lot of those shares here in here yet, but I know you all have aspirations. I know you all have goals, and I know you all want freedom. I know that because I want that. That's the universal human experience. And it is worth everything to fight for that. So here's a vehicle in front of you that's going to give you access to begin that fight, but not do it on your own, to do it inside of a community that's supporting you. Trust me, when we say this is a family, it's a freaking family. You come to a live event as a family, it's going to blow your mind how like-minded are and how like-experienced are just people like you. Like Elon said, it's going to blow your mind, right? But we live in a global community now, and you can tap in to something that's been created to help you support creating the things that you say that you want in your life. And that's what we're here to give you access to.
Yeah. So Katie asked a question, but Katie, if you could just follow up, she asked, are you guys coaches or do you provide marketing services to clients? I'm not really sure what that means, but to give you the shorter, okay, promote businesses on social media, etc. Trying to understand what you do. Never heard of your company before. Yeah, we do everything. We do all of that. So we have,
Make a distinction between us and six-figure mentors, because that can sometimes overlap people.
That's a good idea. So really the six-figure mentor community is a company in its own right. It's an educational community, and it's a training and mentorship program, which we are a part of, and we are the master marketing trainers of. What that education teaches you is actually how to build your own brand, how to build your own perspective, your own image, your own everything online. So
if you want to, and you can also market the system itself without having to do any of that. So it's kind of like two parallel lines.
Yeah. So SatoriPrime is the brand that Guy and I created when we had first started. Okay. So just the distinction between the two, SatoriPrime has its own things that we do. We coach, we have a digital media agency, we do a lot of online marketing training around Facebook and things of that nature. That's the one arm. The other arm is the training that we do for the six-figure mentor community and the business that we run within the six-figure mentor community. And that's kind of what we were talking about today. So the Six-Figure Mentors actually created the other. But for a lot of you guys, if you have your own business, then really what you want to consider is, how am I marketing that business? How am I getting that message, that service out into the world, or that perspective, if you're a thought leader, out into the world? And that's what this education actually teaches you to do. It's what I think this does very differently than a lot of other communities, is that all the education is in one place. And when you first start out, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, because what you're trying to do is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Someone told me this is good, so I'll do this. But when you don't see the entire puzzle, you just can't do that, right? So it's like if you walked into culinary school, for example, and you walked in, you were like, hey guys, today I want to learn how to make a steak. And then you walk in tomorrow, you're like, today I want to learn how to make pie. Like, that's just not how it works, right? There's a system, there's a foundation, you got to develop skills, and you build on those skills slowly but surely. Same thing, same concept. So that, with accountability and all of these tools that you would otherwise have to go out and build or purchase on your own, is all accessible to you. So that's really, when you're talking about promoting a business on social media, Katie, you'll have the tools and the foundation on exactly how to do that within the Six-Figure Mentor community. Guy and I, just so you guys know, for our private personal coaching, are way more expensive than anything you would pay for a Six-Figure Mentors.
Yeah.
And we've just developed that over the years. And that's why we're so passionate about this, is because like the opportunities that this type of knowledge and tool gives you is unmatched.
And I think that's important to say, like, we got started in a community like this. We keep being in a community like this because it does support people with creating these type of lifestyles. But we leveraged our education to create whatever it is we wanted. Because when we got into the business, we're really passionate about doing personal mastery and transformation work with people, right? And that's what we wanted. But I didn't want to walk out into the street and shake hands and be like, hey, Katie, my name is Guy, and I'm a great personal development coach. You're going to be like, who the hell are you, right? And why are you talking to me? But when you can get online, you start learning how to create content that attracts people into what we call a sales funnel. And that's what you guys are all part of right now. You're part of a process, right? A process that allows you to build a relationship with us, with Six-Figure Mentors, and to start seeing that there's something that we're providing here of value. And if you see that, you're probably inclined to want to move forward. Like, you showed up on this webinar for a reason. Like, why are you here, right? How did you get here? This is not by accident. You didn't like run into a post in the street and like suddenly realize there's a webinar going on. You're part of a sales funnel right now. There's automation in place that gets you here. And sure, we're giving up our time right now, but for the most part, our system's running in the background, whether or not. Like, I woke up this morning and we had 3 new members, and we had 2 sales come in. Like, we've earned $3,000 by the time I woke up this morning. That didn't happen while I was actively doing anything. And that's the power of getting online into a digital system. Now, building a system online or building a business online is really not different than building an offline business. And that's why Elon said it's not realistic to think that you're going to have $1 million business in 6 months or a year, because you wouldn't think that. Like, even if you bought a McDonald's franchise right now, you're not going to be a millionaire in 12 months to 24 months. But the advantage here is, and the huge advantage here is that your business is always operating. You're online, like, the internet doesn't shut off. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's borderless. It's all over the world. And you can attract customers to you through marketing, through automation, each and every day. So you put in and invest the work into the experience, into the understanding of how to do this stuff. You can build systems if you want. Sure, you're going to invest your time into it. But once that system is built and it's optimized, you can basically just send traffic into it, and you put money into it, right, which is the marketing, and out pops customers, right? And that the spread between how much you're investing in your marketing and how much you're getting return from the customers, your margin, that's your profits. And that's why we can wake up every single morning to money in our bank account without having to say, like, okay, let's go to work right now. And the more you do this is what we call leverage, right? You're leveraging the internet, you're leveraging automation. Now you built one system, right? That thing is out there making you $5,000, $10,000 a month. Why not go build another one? Build another one, optimize that, create another one. And this is how you can start creating multiple streams of income. So in any given month, you know, Elon and I have, I don't know the exact figure, but I would say between 15 to 20 different income streams that pour into our bank account. Some pay us out daily, some pay us out biweekly, some pay us out monthly, but it's the same process over and over again. Now, if Elon and I wanted to, let's say we were like, I don't know, we wanted to get crazy about doing like Tai Chi or something, okay? We wanted to master Tai Chi. So Elon and I would go start taking classes in Tai Chi. And, you know, in a year from now, we would probably know a whole lot about Tai Chi. Now there's people online constantly searching for how to do stuff in Tai Chi. And we would start teaching that, right? And maybe have a course or a book or a video series or something like that. And we built content. We'd bring people into a Tai Chi funnel. We'd start educating them on the things we learned in Tai Chi. And guess what? We're going to have customers who are going to be like, whoa, these guys really know their Tai Chi. And that's it. And then that's a new income stream. So it gets really fun because now it's like, what do you want to learn? And how do you want to impact people positively? And this, again, gives you access to becoming somebody who is living a life that they love, who is serving other people, which, by the way, I think is the access to happiness as a human being. And that's what the traditional workspace doesn't give you. You're not, for the most part, people aren't serving anybody. And in the United States, the #1 most honored job is a nurse. That's like true for like 50 or 60 years. Why is that? Because when we look at people serving other people, we're like, wow, that's really admirable. That's amazing. And they feel amazing about themselves. So if you haven't had a life where you've gotten to serve others, that could be a really big missing for you, right? Like people eventually get to a place where they want to give back. Here it is. You can start giving back and still make a lot of money in the process. And that's really what's available here. But again, I'm going to go back to the fact that you got to master something. And it's not going to happen overnight for you. However, I think the best investment you can make in anything is an investment in yourself. And that's always going to pay off, whether in the short run or in the long run. And again, that's really what's in front of you.
All right. So look, this is, we've been talking a lot, but I'd really love to get from you guys. Katie, by the way, I'm not sure if that actually answered your question. So if it didn't, feel free to jump it in again. If you guys want us to bring you out, you want to have a conversation with us, just let us know. This medium actually allows us to bring people out. But we have another like 14 minutes. You're welcome, Katie. We have another 14 minutes. So anything that you guys want, anything that's like been holding you back, do you have a fear around something? Whether it's, you know, usually people's fear, however they say it, is like, will this work for me? Or will I be able to make this work? That's usually people's biggest thing. But anything you guys have right now, look, whether you join the SFM or not, Guy and I are seriously unattached. Like that's not a point for us. Our mission, like SatoriPrime's mission, just so you get it, is to wake humanity up to what is possible. Right? Like we live in a completely closed off construct of what is possible. And that's just because of marketing, right? We've bought hook, line, and sinker that, you know, we have to go from school to college. And if you want to excel, you got to go to grad school because whatever, like, right? Then you have to get a 9 to 5 and you got to bust your ass and all this stuff. It's like, we bought that hook, line, and sinker. It's going to take something. It's going to take this community. It's going to take people like you to shake things up, to make others stand up and notice like, wow, you really can do this. So that's what we're here for, period. And so whether it's joining this community or whether you have some other opportunity that you want to seek, it doesn't matter to me. It's more important to me that you actually get up and do something. That you wake up every morning ecstatic about what you get to do. Like, this is my job. That's crazy. This is crazy. Like, this is my job, right? So I get to sit here talking to you guys, and in the background, like, all this other stuff is happening that I'm completely unaware of, and it's amazing. It frees up your life to do the things that matter. Now, I know that every single human being, and I'm sure that everyone here, like, you took your time to be here because deep down inside, you want to leave this world a better place than you found it. Whether that's just for you and your wife, husband, whatever, whether that's for you and your kids, whether that's for you and your church, your community, the world as a poll, it does not matter. I bet you that every single one of you is here because you want to make a difference. Now, the only way to go out and make that impact is you got to take care of home, right? Like home's first. So if you're struggling health, if you're struggling financially, if you're all this stuff at home, how much of a difference are you going to go out and make in the world?
Yep.
Not much, right? Because all of that energy, all that focus is here. But if you can learn a way, if you can grow a skill set that allows you to take care of home, then guess what? We just lit another fire in the world. We just lit someone up that is going to make that change. And that's a ripple effect. And that's our entire existence, guys, is doing that. It's the reason we agreed to coach and mentor people in the Six Figure Mentors. It's the reason that we have masterminds where we work with people, whether it's on Facebook marketing and technical skills or whether we work with them on mindset. It's all from that same, that's our only agenda, is to wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anything that's stopping you, anything that's like in your way that you want to handle now, let's handle it.
Absolutely. A-Marie, I put that whole thing in there. I only wrote it to me and you. A-Marie says she really wants to join the SFM, but she's not able to position at elite right now. And I'm afraid I would be shortchanging myself. You know what? I think it's, if you like, A-Marie, if this is speaking to you, it's premature to even have that conversation, right? Like you don't really know what's available. You haven't had any experience in the community. Honestly, I think desire outweighs anything. Outweighs anything else. Like if you really want this, go get it, and then figure out your circumstances later. We used to have a mentor that said, don't ever do something you don't want to do, but don't ever not do the things that you really want to do, right? Like people use time and money as excuses all the time to not do stuff. Why? Because we know if we say that, everyone gets the fuck away from you. And guys, granted, yes, if you join the company, we're going to make money, right? We're giving our time. We're going to be training you. There's no secret about that. But it's not about that. It's about what experience do you want to have? You're either going to live a life that's going to be based on circumstances all the time. And every decision and choice that you make is because the way that it looks right now when you stare out into the world. Or you're going to start actively pursuing and choosing things free of those circumstances. I assert the second one is going to make you feel really powerful. There's plenty of value you're going to get just by being a member of SFM, whether you're at the highest level of it or at the lowest level of it, right? We train every single week, the entire community, and those aren't necessarily people who are positioned at a black or a platinum or elite or any of the top tier models. For some of you guys, you're going to totally get it, and you'll be like, fuck yeah, I want the whole kit and caboodle. I want to travel with you guys. I want to be close to you. I want to get directly mentored by you. I've been dreaming to build a business like this. Some of you guys, it's going to be, I just want the education. I'm happy with the business I have, and that's all I want to build. And that's fine, right? And that's totally fine. So I'm going to drop the link in there in just a minute. But here's what I want to tell you guys. When we got started, and this is what we didn't tell you, when we got started, Elon used to be a vice president of a bank, and we used to lend commercial money for commercial real estate. And I was a manager of that same bank a few years later, and the top earner. And we made a lot of money at a young age. And when the economy tanked, we lost all of it. I mean, literally back down to zero. I moved back in with my parents, sold all my assets. Elon's house was in foreclosure while he had a kid on the way. His first kid was on the way. IRS was literally seizing money out of his bank account. Not pretty situations. And I'm not telling this to make you sad or get sympathy points because I don't want any of them. In fact, that's the best thing that ever happened to me and Elon. And how often does that happen, right? Where it's like the blessings turns into curses and the curses are like your biggest blessings.
Always.
It threw a wedge in the way that our life was going and we had to reconsider what was going on. So I saw an opportunity with getting online. Elon joined me about 6 months later, and we've been doing this ever since. And it's been the best thing that ever happened to us. But I'm telling you this because when I started my business, I had $400 in the bank. To start at that time, it was $397. I got this thing called a black box that they shipped to my house. I had $3 left over when I was done. And the only thing I had left was credit cards that I didn't use for 2 years. Now, I'm not telling any of you guys to go do this, but I want you to understand, I had a desire to serve and free myself. And that desire drove me for a long time. So I had roughly $30,000 to $40,000 in credit cards that I could use to learn how to do marketing, to invest in my education. And I told myself, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to learn it. And what I did was I invested every one of those dollars in myself and in the experiences that I needed to have in order to understand how to do this. Again, not telling you guys to go do this, but I also understood that if I go and put myself in a 40,000 debt hole, there's no job that I could go get. Like what job, what $40,000, $50,000 a year job is going to pay off that debt? That's going to bury me. So I put myself in a situation where like, this is either going to work or I'm going to die trying, basically. And it was that attitude that got us here. Now, here we are a few years later, multiple seven-figure earners. You know, I've traveled all over the planet this last year. I've been in Australia. I've been in London. I'm about to head to Colombia. I live in San Diego now, but my family's out in New York, and we are super close. I do like 5-6 trips a year out to New York for like 10 days to 2 weeks, sometimes for a month at a time. I live bi-coastal. We were just in Vegas. Like, you know, it's the point where I'm like drowning in my travels, but you know, but that's what I wanted, right? Like a life of freedom. I want to explore my world. I want to do these things. What job opportunity is ever going to give you that lifestyle? So if you're getting that and you are passionate about this kind of stuff like we are, it's a no-brainer, right? Like what do you have to lose right now? $29 on an application that if you don't like it anyway, you can get your money back. Go take it. Go talk to a business development coach. Get your questions answered. Find out if this is right for you. You know, it's minimal. And if it's not, be honest with yourself and be like, fuck it, I'm not going to do the work, right? And if you are, light a fire under your ass and let's go. And we're here to support you. So I'm going to drop a link right now. It's just a quick, easy link to get to the application page. It's $29.95 to take an application. We do that because we don't want to talk to people who are full of shit, to be honest, right? Like if we give you a free application, everyone's going to take it. And then we spend all our time talking to people who aren't serious. If you're not willing to invest $29 to have a conversation with somebody about your future, trust me, you're not ready for this anyway. So we put that in place because we really don't want to talk to tire kickers at all. We have no interest in it. And if that's you, you know, we thank you for coming here today. We hope that this was at least eye-opening for you and that you're like, whoa, I didn't even know this stuff was out there. And, you know, great. And I hope you got value. If you're a maybe, you know, if you're a maybe to getting started, here's what I would offer you. People are usually in 3 places. They're either a yes, they want to do this. If you are, I'll put the link in there. Go get the application. If you're a no, again, thank you for coming. But if you're a maybe, you might be something like, I want to do this, but, right? And there's this like ... There's this thing that comes after the but. I want to do this, but I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have health. I don't have this. I don't have that. I invite you to look that whatever comes after that but is not new. You've been saying that but for a long time. Some of you for fucking decades, that but has been following you around, right? And it's the thing that always stops you from taking action in areas of life that really matter to you. And it literally makes you into a small, peon little human being. And it's a reason you probably haven't taken that vacation or maybe aren't in the right relationship or who knows, right? Whatever that but is. But you know the genealogy of that shit. You know how long it's been there. And you know that you've been using it for a really long time to stop you. There's a breakthrough in hearing that but and not letting it make the choice for you, right? And that breakthrough will not just impact you here and now. It's going to impact you in all areas of life because suddenly every time that but shows up, you're like, holy shit. I'm not going to do that anymore. You're going to change your whole life. So if that's where you are about this, again, I invite you to just take a leap of faith and see what happens. Worst comes to worst, in 30 days from now, you're like, not for me, right? And you really have not much to lose here. So I'll drop the link in there, and then Elam can look at any other questions you guys have. Yeah,
there was just one other question, and I don't know the person's name. You might be on the phone. The 8301 posted a question. I have a hard time dealing with fear of war in the world, going against what people think I should do versus what I believe in. I dropped a link in there. Actually, I dropped the wrong link. I'm sorry. Hold on. If you're on Facebook, add me, and I just made a video about this. I'm going to actually try to get you I'll post the YouTube link to it as well here. Hold on one second. Let me grab it for you. Look, I don't know your name, but whatever that is the thing, like what you're dealing with right now, that worrying about what other people think, that worrying about what am I going to do? What am I going to say? All of that stuff. That's the thing that you need to now get over. Like that's the thing holding you back from having the life that you want. So it almost doesn't matter what you do. As long as that's in the space and as long as that's running the show, you're not going to produce amazing results. Do you mean? Okay, give me 2 minutes. Thanks, John. So, I'm going to drop a link in here for all of you guys, and hopefully you can get this as well from there. You can watch this on YouTube. Again, you can friend me on Facebook and get it there as well. But it's all about that. It's actually explains where fear comes from, why you have fearful thoughts. And I think when you get that delineation, you're going to understand what it is that's been driving you. And you're going to also understand how to alter it and start having the real you drive your life, not these fears. And you're not alone. Like, this is something that everyone deals with. That's what you got to get. It's not just you. Guy and I did the same thing. We just worked 13 years to, lower the volume on it. We still have those thoughts. If you go, again, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see this. Last week, I shared all about fears that had me do certain crazy stuff. So look, guys, you know where to find us. SatoriPrime.com. Guy, maybe just leave links and how they.
I just dropped everything in there. So for any of you guys that didn't see it, the app page is sixfigurementors.co/app. So I know some of you guys are on the phone. We're going to send out another email with this stuff also. The link will be in there. But again, if you're fired up, you want to get going, go ahead. You can also contact us at support@SatoriPrime.com, and we'll be happy to receive your email and help you with anything there. And that's really it, guys. Again, we're not here to convince you of anything, manipulate you to do anything you don't want to do. It's not for you if that's how you feel, right? This is about making a choice and seeing an opportunity and putting yourself on a pathway towards a destination that leads to freedom, which is, again, what all you guys are here for. But freedom ain't free. And you got to work for that shit hard, real hard. And if you come on board, come with the attitude that I'm here to freaking work, and every time that you get disempowered, that's what we're here for. We're here you're supposed to hit walls. You're supposed to get frustrated. You're supposed to be overwhelmed and scared, and fearful. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to take action in the face of it. We're all afraid, right? That's the human experience. Life is coming to an end eventually. I'm afraid of it, but what are you going to do with the time that you're here? Are you going to sit around and wiggle your fingers and hope that one day something magical happens to you? Or are you going to go and align yourself and help create those circumstances? Nobody that I've ever talked to that's successful or enjoying an incredible life was because it just happened to them. They worked their asses off. And there's this myth out there that you're going to win the lottery, or this thing is going to fall out in the sky and then everything is going to be great. And I'm not saying it never happens, but it's not in the majority. The winning the lottery is not a majority thing. And then go ask the people who win the lottery. They all go broke anyway. It doesn't matter. They're miserable because you know why? Because they weren't prepared for it mentally. They didn't earn it. They didn't develop themselves to have that kind of money. And then you put them in a circumstance where they don't know how to deal with it, and they're miserable. Yeah. It's money, health, freedom, happiness. It's a mindset development. And again, we're here to support you with that. But we know for a fact the people who join this community in excess, in the majority, have those kind of experiences. Yeah. And that's what we're inviting you to do. Guys, thank you so much for being here with us. Follow up with us. Let us know where you're at. And if there's anything, seriously, anything that we can do to help and support you on this journey, we will. Absolutely. Within reason, but we will. Within reason. Love you all. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for your listening. And we'll see you guys again. Awesome, guys. Thank you for coming. Bye. Enjoy your Friday and weekend. Bye.